what are you talking about? Why are you so upset?
Yeah.
Why do you watch this team?
You don't want to be the Chicago Fire, a team that can score goals and look like a good attacking team and play fun soccer sometimes, but then can't stop leaking goals and loses most of their games like 4-2 or 4-3. You don't want to be that. As annoying an ending as this game had, I do think there was a lot of positives to take from this game. So we're going to talk about both the positives and the negatives. That game was fun to watch. It was entertaining. Like how many those shows that I was talking about last year that when this offense was really struggling, how many times did we say set the results aside, just be entertaining?
Yeah, just play fun soccer.
Yeah, like that sequence I was talking about where Obed had that chance where they were pinging it around and do that.
Yeah, that's
what I want to see. Do that and kick it to the fast guys like Georgie and Jordan and let them run really fast and score goals and just be a fun, entertaining product to watch on the field. That's what I've been enjoying the most so far this season. I hope they sustain it. It's only been 2 games. But as tilting as the ending was, I really enjoyed watching that game. I thought it was a fun game to watch. I was locked in, and they were playing really well. So
yeah, the crowd was into the game too.
Yeah,
I think that's something that's genuinely you can use as a little bit of a barometer of where they're at. The crowd was getting when you hear people getting really loud and getting really excited off these chances, it tells you that people are excited to watch this game, and it was exciting to watch. I think also people are feeling so down about this as well because it was a fun game to watch, because they had scored multiple goals.
They deserved the win,
because they felt like they deserved it. And maybe we can talk about this. Fuck it, I'm just gonna say it now. Jeremiah brought this up to me when we were walking back the light rail. He said, I don't think that fans enjoy losing by multiple 3-2 or tying 3-3 than a 1-0 loss or a 1-1
I've taken
draw.
issue with that talking point as well. It's about winning.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the Chicago Fire, a team that can score goals and look like a good attacking team and play fun soccer sometimes, but then can't stop leaking goals and loses most of their games like 4-2 or 4-3. You don't want to be that. And I realize there's less extreme, there's middle ground there, but I think just in principle, I take the 1-0 win over the 4-3 loss. I don't even know what we're debating with that.
Yeah. But I mean, it's people would rather lose. People generally say that they would rather lose a game and have their team score multiple goals versus their team lose by 1 goal and it's or draw 0-0 or something. Jeremiah said that he disagrees. He thinks that that it doesn't really matter. Either way, people are going to be tilted, which I tend to agree with. I don't know. It's just, I guess that's all to say, I think that's why people hear you watch a really exciting game and somehow it actually makes it worse. It somehow makes it worse.
It made that result feel worse, for sure, at least in the moment. And then I think after sleeping on it, I was able to kind of be like, all right, that was a good game.
I felt like I was taking crazy pills a little bit. I was like, this was not a bad result. This was a good game.
It was a bad result, but it was not a bad performance.
I didn't even think it was. I think it was I guess
a home draw in your home opener when you were leading in the 93rd is a bad result. There's no way around that. But it's the XG theory. It sounds like you're coming around to it. Performance as it pertains to results. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Definitely not the same thing.
It absolutely is.
The Seattle Sounders brand new 2025 kit is here. Inspired by 2 traditional Southern Coast Salish weaving techniques, twilling and twinning. These techniques, passed down through generations, honor the resilience, deep-rooted ties, and creativity that define the cultural fabric of this region. The striking deep blue jersey will be worn by the Sounders for the next 2 seasons to honor the club's deep connection with the Puget Sound and shared responsibility as stewards of the greater Salish Sea watershed. Backing up that commitment, the Seattle Sounders will donate up to $50,000 to benefit community charities around the Puget Sound region. To get your very own Salish Sea kit, visit lobbingscorchers.com/kit. That's lobbingscorchers.com/KIT.
Oh my God, we're gonna do the XG debate.
XG is fake.
All it is an interpretation of performance compared to results, which is exactly the same thing that you're talking about.
I don't know what you're saying. That's not true.
Obviously, that last goal just can't happen. When you're that close to the final whistle, you got to dust the game. I know that's easy to say from the press box, but I think the guys on the team and Schmetzer, I know Schmetzer because of his post-game presser, would tell you that they need to dust that game. And I think we haven't talked about this as much, but I think the reason that it kind of conjured up so many negative feelings, and I can understand this, is that there were too many drop points at home last year. They had like 7 draws or something at home last year. They had a couple of 0-0s. So I think that I understand that it might have felt like kind of a continuation of the same thing that we saw last year. Well, okay, in the results. And insofar as the results was the same as some of those results. But I agree with what you were getting at, which that was what I was going to get at, which is that the people out there who are arguing like, oh, this was like deja vu of last year. I think Jeremiah's post-game column said, don't call it deja vu. This was nothing like last year at all, like even remotely. Like last year, the period of time we're talking about, they could not score multiple goals in a game.
They looked awful. They looked terrible.
Yeah, like they were not playing well, like in attack. They were playing good on defense, but like in attack, they were not good. Yeah. In this game, they were quite good in attack. So like, I don't know. I just thought the comparison that a lot of people were making, that like it's deja vu to last year, I thought that was insane. This game literally reminded me of last year, not one iota.
I think people just want to hate. I really do. I think that there's a contingent of people who are just so tilted all the time, or like, I don't know, there's just some contrarian sect of people. This goes along with the brigade, but I'm just like, man, what do you see in this game that makes you so concerned that you're like throwing a tantrum already one game into the season?
I can understand throwing a tantrum about the equalizer. I can't about the overall performance.
I don't even get that though.
It was a vibe.
It's a fluke goal.
But
like,
it was
that
a vibe.
Happens in soccer.
It was a vibe killer. It was.
But like, if you look at that game and you say, okay, we gave away a corner, a beautiful played corner. Like, I'm watching that. I'm like, I'm not mad at that. What the hell? Like, that is actually beautiful set piece design and play. And you know, how many times in a game is that going to happen? It's not often. That was beautiful. And then you have this fluke goal with your 2 best defenders, and you know, like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Things happen in sports. Like results like this happen. And like the fact that people are already like, okay, it's game 1 and it's the same exact thing from last year, while also watching Jordan Morris score 2 of his better goals that I've ever seen him score. It's like, what are you talking about? Why are you so upset? Yeah. Why do you watch this team?
It's a good question.
I just think it was bothering me so much, man. I'm like, this was not a bad result.
I agree with most of what you're saying. I guess what I would say is I'm not surprised, honestly, at how hot the emotions got, because that leveler. I mean, that sucks. The ending of that game sucked. It did. Like,
it sucks to draw, but like, what is this game in the sphere of the 400 matches we're gonna play this season? And what is this in the sphere of like what it actually tells you about the team? Which the first 3 games in MLS are more about figuring out what the hell is going on than anything. If you look at the results around the league, there were 10 times worse results. There were games where you have San Jose is first in the West right now, folks. Should we just end the season right now and take all of those results as a indictment on what the teams are?
I'm gonna have to look at the San Jose goals that they scored and make sure that they all count. If there was any like there might have been like some deflections in there or own goals. I'm not sure I'm buying that. I haven't watched those highlights, so
just,
I'm not
you know
sure.
what? End the season now. Let the San Jose Earthquakes play the Columbus Crew. They're both in first. They're clearly the 2 best. They're clearly I know I'm going on this rant, but it's like, if you are so mad about this game that you're ready to make a decision on what this team is or isn't, like you're kind of just insane. You're dumb.
My last negative was just that I think you can ding them for not getting the 3rd goal.
That's fair.
If you get that 3rd goal, the game's over. Game's over. So I don't know. I don't know if it's about like the fact that they let up or anything, but just generally speaking, in that situation, if you get the 3rd, you don't put yourself in this situation where that concession drops you those points.